Mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2 3. I can hear me. Can I hear you?
Yes, Sirski.
All right, J.A.B Nation, we're back and better than ever. Today, we're gonna talk about something that recently happened in the media. First, let's rewind like about a year or so ago, to the slap across the world. Yes, I'm talking about when Will Smith pimp slapped Chris Rock because of a G.I. Jane joke. And we made an episode about that situation roughly about a year ago. And now Chris Rock has made a comedy special, and at the end of his comedy special, he is finally, opening up about it and talking about the slap. So we didn't watch the full special. We just watched the kind of like the end of it when he's talking about Will Smith and Jada. So, Jalen, how did you feel about that little bit at the end that
Dang,
Chris Rock did?
you what? You could tell. You could tell man was trying to get something off his chest, but he was like, everybody calls him a B. Everybody called him a B. Just a B. He kept repeating himself over and over again. Like he was just I don't think people got it at first. Like, cause like usually, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's kind of like a little blow by. And you know what I'm saying? They was thinking like, oh, everybody was kind of calling him that. But I don't think people was getting like he was trying to say it without saying it. It was like
yeah,
everybody call him a B. And it was just like I kind of got it like dang, he calling him that, but he ain't trying to say it was him. So that was interesting. Then we go into the whole he started talking about Jada. I don't mind him talking about Jada though. Like she kind of been tripping. Like like her and her daughter, like Willow, talk about like Tupac come back and stuff. Like,
that was mad weird. Like their family is weird though. But I like Willow as an artist. I love her music,
oh
but
yeah,
like
for sure.
in her vision and stuff like that. But that's kind of weird. Like she's talking about like her daughter was talking about Tupac. Like that's not your dad, bro. Like
It's not, bro. But it's just like, but that goes to show you what like her mom teaching her, like what her mom talks about around her, and for her, bro, for her to say that, like, come on, nah, like that show, it kind of embarrassed Will Smith even more because it's just like, dang, you got your daughter even talking about another man come back because like, you know what I'm saying, because her mom loves him so much rather than you. That's kind of like hurtful. Like you married to Will, why are you talking about another man that you used to date and you used to like? And it's kind of like, ugh. But that goes to show like that whole marriage dynamic of the table talk and you know what I'm saying, all this other stuff, putting their business out there. Then Will doing the slide. Then you got Jada talking about she don't need nobody to protect her in the it's just a whole bunch of just everything. And then just to see like the person, he not a victim. He said it in his thing. He said he's not a victim, but just to see Chris Rock talk about it finally after a year or so after it happened, and then just for him to kind of like come out with his own how he felt about it. You know what I'm saying? Not just guessing other news talking about we assumed that this or we heard from this source that we heard it from the horse's mouth, which was Chris himself. So I appreciate that whole stand up. It was hilarious, that bit we did see. It was funny. Like bro really had to get some off his chest. He said bro, he was like dang, he was getting at bro. But you know that goes to show that was like a lot of it's kind of like just the reverse, but except it's not physical. He did it in the right way, I think. You know what I'm saying, as far as put it in jokes, put it in comedy, put his pain or what he been through, what he went through, his aggression through his art, which is comedy. He did it the right way, which Will should have did some, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. Or but he was just like, he didn't even like, lie or nothing or cap. He was just like, I was, his biggest supporter. Like I was supporting him, like I was a big fan. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was rooting for him every single step of the way, but he was like, I'm the one that got, slapped because he bigger than me and everything else. And he thought he can make a fool out of me type stuff. But he was like, that ain't the case. So it was a lot of it was funny moments, but it was also some like, dang, you know what I'm saying? Some like, all right, some life lessons in it. So, but what you get out of it, you know what I'm saying? You might have a little different way of thinking. We the same person kind of, but you know what I'm saying? I want to see your perspective on it.
Um, I think it was genius that Chris Rock didn't say anything like immediately, like after he got slapped,
Yeah.
because he made a marketing move. I know that. And you want to know, like, what's really crazy is because, like, he released or he came out with his new comedy special like a week before the Oscars came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like, because the Oscars happened last year, then he waits like roughly a year to come up with his special and talk about the slap that happened at the Oscars. So he came out with his special like a week before the Oscars of this year. Like that's he thought about that, and in the fact that he hasn't really spoken about this for real in a year, and the Oscars about to come up, so he scheduled it right, and so because of that scheme or that plan, that's gonna up like ticket sales for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was very thought out and planned. Like he did this, like he planned it, his response timing right, so he can like make the most amount of money off of his pain or his embarrassment. You know what I mean? So the man's smart. He know what he doing. I feel like because he was embarrassed in that situation, and I know it probably, for me, if I would get slapped on national television, I don't care how big you are, I don't care how tall you are, because you need to understand that Will Smith is significantly like taller than Chris Rock. Me, I don't care. I feel like my immediate response would be to like get my lick back and then some.
Yeah, I'm different.
But but he has that control. He was like, you know what? I'm gonna just make money off of this situation, because if I don't say nothing, a lot of people is really, really gonna want to know what I have to say. So if I'm withholding information, it's kind of like supply demand. If I don't supply my response as much, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna be a higher demand. So once I really like give you that supply, that demand really high, it's gonna, that money coming in.
I truly think he's a follower of Christ, bro, because in that Bible it said you get hit on one cheek, you show the other one so he can hit the other. And that's what bro did. Bro was just like, you know what I'm saying? He took his lick and he was like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just hold on. But that goes to show, but like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody not raised that way. I guess, I don't even think, but I can't even see like a black person being raised the way, like, don't put your hands on nobody, like, even if, you know what I'm saying? Even your Christian parents was like, if somebody put their hands on you, you got the right to put your hands back on them. You know what I'm saying?
He didn't say anything about being Christian, but in his special, he did say like the reason why he didn't respond was because he was raised by parents, and his parents told him not to fight in front of white people. That's a joke, but it has nothing to do with Christianity. But he did like in a funny way explain why he didn't react.
Yeah.
He's like, I was raised not to fight in front of white people, which is like, it's understandable because how we are, like, the dynamic between white people and black people historically, and it's like black people seen as animals, uncontrolled, and blah 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 blah. So we shouldn't fight in front of. It gives them more of a. It gives white people more of a reason to like believe that stereotype, But it's still a joke. It was still funny.
It was hilarious. I mean, just the setup of it, and like you said, the marketing scheme behind it, bro. Like, that man really just. He made a meme make him money. Like, you know what I'm saying? He turned the meme into money. He turned the M into an M and made the M&Ms. You know what I'm saying? And he eating off on them. So it's kind of like, who really the smart one? You know what I'm saying? Because who's really the embarrassed one, or who really, the victim of the loss, who took the loss? Because after he got smacked, you know what I'm saying, he making money from it. I think Will kind of lost money from it, you know what I'm saying? They took a lot of stuff from him, like, you know what I'm saying, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. That was kind of like different things. So it's kind of like, who really, you know what I'm saying, who really came out on top for real? obviously that's a, you know what I'm saying, an opinion thing with people. Some people might think Will won just off the smack alone and Chris not doing anything. But if you think strategically, money wise, you know what I'm saying, paper wise, business wise, Chris all the way there. You know what I'm saying? Chris,
Oh yeah.
yeah, he really put his business cap on, like, how can I finesse this? And he did it. So
He did.
he got my respect after that. Like, hey, bro, he his own, goat. He got a goat tier, because like that's crazy. Not a lot of people would have, thought that way. Everybody would have, you know what I'm saying, especially as black people, we instantly getting that, you know what I'm saying. So it's kind of like, just to see one of our people, kind of like take a different route and show like it's another way to handle it. Now it's, it make you think like, dang, now I gotta put another cap on to think like, you know what I'm saying, how can this help me in the long run, instead of like boom boom boom. You know what I'm saying, it ain't gotta be a money thing, but just, you know what I'm saying, how can this moment like affect me down the line? Because you know what I'm saying, in the street, like where we at now, it's kind of like people that's doing it now that's not in his position, it's either jail or freedom, so you can look at it that way. So I think dude did great, man. Shout out to Chris, man.
Shout out to Chris. Good marketing. So Will smacked, like a year ago, Will smacked Chris Rock at the Oscars, and then a little bit after that, Will Smith actually made a video. Like, he sat in front of a camera and he just like talked about the situation. He apologized to Chris Rock and stuff like that, and he was like, "Oh, I'm trying to reach out to him, but he hasn't really gotten back to me." Blah 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 blah. I don't know if you saw the video. I saw a little bit of it like months ago, and I guess this is Chris' response. His comedy special. And I think what's kind of like ironic, or kind of like maybe hypocritical, maybe a little bit in the situation, is Will Smith watched Chris Rock's special and all the things that Chris Rock said about him and his wife and stuff. And Will Smith said he was embarrassed and hurt by what Chris Rock said about him and his family in the special. Right. And I'm like, you are embarrassed and hurt by what Chris Rock said, but don't you think Chris Rock was embarrassed and hurt a year ago when you slapped him on national television?
Yeah.
I mean, karma.
Yeah.
The Lord works in mysterious ways, you know what I mean? It's like the way he turned that thing around, it's just like
he turned that.
He was
right
like,
around,
I
right?
bet. Like what you reap what you sow, whatever you reap what you sow, or whatever you believe in karma, or whatever it is, whatever you put into the universe, you get it back. And even sometimes you get it back tenfold. So it's just crazy.
Real talk. And it's just, man, and in that situation, it's kind of like, bro, you really have to like hold your emotion, because you gotta think where you are. You know what I'm saying? Like people always told us, bro, it's a time and a place for everything. It's literally a time and a place. You're on national TV where millions and millions of people are watching. The Oscars, man. People getting award for, and nominations for great movies, great shows. And you decided that was the time to unleash your so-called anger, and you couldn't control yourself. Like, nah, it's a time and a place for these things. Like, you knew what you was doing. You're a grown man. So it's kind of like, because it's just like, even if you mad, like, handle that afterwards, handle that behind the scene, handle that in the parking lot. I don't care. Handle that where you need to handle that. But on stage in front of people, nah, like, that's not cool. You know what I'm saying? That goes to show you, you know what I'm saying, stuff get turned around quick, bro. You know what I'm saying? God works in mysterious ways, and I think this is how God worked. Like, just flipped it around on him, and now he, you know what I'm saying, he embarrassed by what he did, but it's kind of like, hey, bro, you should have thought about what you did. You should have thought about that in the moment. Mm-hmm. But, you know what I'm saying, I get it, you know what I'm saying, kind of a rage moment, but shoot, you know what I'm saying, kind of like think about it. And he had the time to think about it. It's not like, it ain't like he just, you know what I'm saying, it was a quick moment. He had to walk up there.
The thing that like confused me is like when Chris Rock made the G.I. Jane joke, Will Smith was laughing at it. And then like after Chris Rock says the joke, the camera cuts to Will, he's laughing at the joke. Then the camera cuts to Jada, and Jada is looking
Like, hey, what's up? Like, what
like
you
for real,
gonna
like
do?
she looked pissed off that like Chris made the joke. So I guess maybe between
Yeah.
like those two cameras between Will and Jada, the camera probably didn't catch like Will looking at Jada and seeing how mad like she was at the joke, and that probably triggered him to go up and like slap her.
I'm
I don't know,
telling you,
but
I'm telling you,
bruh,
bruh. She gave him that look like, oh, so you laughing, huh? Like, she gave, she gave that one of those. She said, boy, then that man switched up quick. Boy, like I said, it didn't have to be that on stage. Like I said in a previous episode, bruh. I would have just took this man, you know what I'm saying, behind the scene at the after party, whatever, like, stuck him to the side. Hey, bro, chill on the jokes, man. Like, I have to go home with her. You don't. Bro, like, you know what I'm saying? Don't make my house hell, cause you want to make a little joke. Like,
right.
come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like I would have like put him to the side, cause like, bro, if that's your bro. Cause I think they was cool before that, wasn't they? Like,
Yeah,
when
because
they like,
in the special, Chris Rock was like, "Man, I supported like Will Smith. I was a great fan of his. Blah 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 blah."
yeah.
And it's just crazy. Like after this is a funny joke. It was like Chris did like a whole 360 on like his point of view of Will, because like before the slap, Chris Rock was supporting him and all the things that he did and blah blah blah. And then after Chris Rock got slapped, I guess he lost some justifiable like animosity and kind of like disdain for Will Smith. And he was like, "Man, I ain't like this man so much. I was rooting for Master to whoop Will Smith in the movie Emancipation." When he was like, "You missed the spot, Master. Whoop him again."
That's
like,
crazy. Missed the spot is crazy.
you know how mad you gotta be at a person to like see them play a slave and you rooting for Master to whoop them, bro?
You missed
As
the
a
spot.
black person, like that's funny.
You missed the spot right there.
Right.
That's crazy. But they was cool. So it's kind of like, if that's your homie, bro, I get it. Homies fight, but like, not on that stage, like not on that platform. Like I would have just took him to the side. Hey, bro, like come on, why you talking about my wife like that? And then he would have been like, man, it was just a joke. Like I ain't even mean it like that. You know what I'm saying? I apologize, whoopty whoop. Then it's like cool. You know what I'm saying? Hey, bro, anything coming to my wife, chill, man. I gotta go home with that. Like, and that would have been into that. Like, you know what I'm saying? We would have been cool, and kicking it, having a good time at the after party. But nah, you know what I'm saying? He decided to smack man's. But then, like, after he smacked, bro, and then went right back to normal. Like, everything was cool. Like he went to the after party, jamming, having fun. Like, it's just like, bro, you just smacked the man on live television. But like,
Didn't you see me? You sent me this video like months ago. Like this was closer to like when the slap happened on the Oscars.
Mm-hmm.
You sent me this video of like this scene in this movie that was the exact same.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I'm telling you, like, remember when like this was happening? Everybody was like, "Is this real? Or is it fake? Like, was this scripted? Like, even if he did get slapped, like hand connected to cheek, was it scripted? Because the exact same thing, like what happened at the Oscars was the same thing that happened in the movie. I don't know the name of the movie, but
I don't know either. But it's the same words, the same hand movement, the same, like even the same smack, in my opinion. Like, bro, even down to the T to the smack was about the same too. So it's kind of like, is it fake or not? Because at first I'm like, nah, it can't be fake, bro. Like, bro really connected. But you know what I'm saying? Like, he walked off smirking. I'm like, it could possibly. But I was just thinking he was like, he was like smelling himself a little bit. Like, dang, I just did that in front of people. Like, but then when I seen that little clip, I'm like, yo, like this is exactly the same setup, the same phrase that Will Smith used, keep my wife's name out your effing mouth. It was the same thing, like in the show. So it's kind of like crazy, but I don't know.
Now the movie, like that movie we talking about, did it come out before this whole situation with the Oscar?
Yeah,
It
but
came out before.
it came out way before. It looked like it was back in the 90s.
But when I tell you, like, what happened in that movie was like an exact mirror image of what happened at the Oscars
Bro,
between Will Smith. It was great. Like they, like this was making me think it's fake. Like you have to understand, like there's two different aspects. Like if something's scripted versus like if he actually got hit. Okay, like if you
yeah,
watch if you watch WWE, if you watch wrestling, obviously when they hit each other, they're making connections. You know what I mean? Or like stunt people, they
yeah,
getting hit. So you see what I'm saying? But they do it in a way where it's not as impactful, won't hurt that bad. But you have to know, like, they practice this.
yeah.
They was practicing with each other, like two people, like weeks, months with each other. They know that this punch is going to be thrown. So it was a connection, but it wasn't like unexpected. So there's a difference between like, did he actually get hit, like for real, or he really did get hit, but it was scripted. Like they watched that movie beforehand. It was like, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna walk up the steps. I'm gonna
Ah,
slap you, but I'm going to. And we practice.
ah,
They're actors. You can't. You mean to tell me? Now, like not Chris Rock, but I know Will Smith has been in action movies before, and I'm not saying he do all his stunts, but I feel like in some scenes as an actor, if you do action movies, there's certain things that you do like in fighting that you can do on your own, like a simple
right,
slap to somebody. That's easy. Me and my brother do that all the time, like fake slap each other, and like I will make a connection with him, but I will swing and kind of like slow down at the last minute, and
yeah,
when we like meet the connection, he kind of turns his body a little bit with my hand so it won't hurt as bad. You see what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
So you have so I think it was scripted, but I think he did, his hand did connect with his cheek. But he
Um,
knew it was coming. Will Smith, like, and Chris Rock, I think like they knew. But I don't know though. Cause like, but I think all this is like fake because this is Hollywood. You really don't think they do all this like to make money, ticket sales, to
you're
get the
right.
media popping? This is
And,
Hollywood.
and
Hollywood would
bruh,
do some stuff like this. Like they
and
really would.
and bruh, just like we was talking about in that other episode, bruh, like nigga, the Oscars was going down before this. You know what I'm saying? The Oscars was
Right.
having a little problem with viewers. They ain't had the same view sales. It's been on the straight decline for years and
Right.
years and years. So it was kind of like, are they really? You know what I'm saying? Are
They
they?
did this to get the views up for the
Yeah,
Oscars.
to keep it kind of spicy, but I don't think that worked though. You know what I'm saying? Even if they did do this, let's say if they did, I don't think it worked because now it's smarter for it's smarter for a Chris Rock in a way because now it's kind of like instead of the Oscars, I'm finna watch this documentary on Netflix or this you know what I'm saying, this stand up on Netflix instead of watch the Oscars. Why am I watching this? And I can watch what Chris Rock think on this joke, you know what I'm saying, on this smack. Like, you know what I'm saying, stuff I've been waiting on. And like you said, he kind of dropped it around the Oscar time and stuff like that. I feel like that's pulling eyes away from, you know what I'm saying, kind of
Mhm.
pulling eyes towards, you know, Netflix in a way and towards like Chris Rock little area and episode and stuff and you know, putting money in his pockets instead of the Oscars. But I feel like the Oscars just been on a straight decline and they was like panicking trying to find something to, you know, help them out. And it worked, I think, for the moment, but I don't think it's sustained. How they thought it was gonna sustain, I don't think it's sustained as they thought it was. They can keep bringing it up, but at a certain point, bro, like people gonna like be like, all right, bro, I'm tired of hearing that. Like, what's new? You know how people attention spans are nowadays, but like these young folk these days, man, they on a different whole time. And like they want to see something new pretty quick, so it's kind of like all this gonna die down after I think next year. Next year we ain't even gonna hear about this smack no more unless they bring it up, and then it's gonna be like, why are we still talking about this? So I don't think it had the impact they thought it was gonna have or had the sustainability as they thought it was. Like, oh, this is gonna be for everything. Like we gonna like I ain't gonna lie. It's iconic now because it is stamped in history and it was recorded. But as far as like being something I can like watch every time, it's just like, why are we? Because sometimes I caught myself saying like, why are we still talking about this? Like I done caught myself like that sometimes. So, but hey, man, you know, I might be wrong. They the professionals. I'm not. You know,
No,
I'm sitting at my crib, chilling, watching the Oscars. So I guess.
I still don't know to this day if like this was real. Like I feel like okay, did Will Smith hand connect with Chris Rock cheat? Yes, I wholeheartedly believe that. But do I believe it was scripted? This whole situation, I don't know because like if it was fake, like this whole entire situation was scripted, I would agree to do it if I was Chris Rock. Because you
Right.
know, if they came up to me, look, this is what's gonna happen. You go to the Oscars, you're gonna say this. Will Smith gonna pretend to be mad. He's gonna come up there and slap you, bada bing, bada boom. In a year, you're gonna make a Netflix special and make a amount of money. You know what I'm saying? I would agree to that if I was Chris Rock on that deal. But if I was Will Smith, I wouldn't necessarily want to agree to that deal if this whole thing was a facade. Like if all this was scripted. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to agree. So because of that, that kind of makes me think it was actually real because I don't think Will Smith would actually agree to that. But some people be saying any publicity is better than no
Yeah.
publicity, whether
Right.
it's positive about you or negative about you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I honestly don't know. I don't know if it's real, but if it wasn't scripted, like it was actually 100% real, like they woke up one morning and just didn't know you was gonna get slapped and didn't know you was gonna walk up some steps to slap somebody.
Yeah.
Wow, what a I wish I
That's
was at the Oscars to see that, but Jesus Lord.
that's why, bro. Like, I'm thinking it's real, cause like, or I think like in that moment he can't really say, or Will Smith, I think he can't say, but like, I was embarrassed, cause it's just like, bro, you had a long walk to think about what you was finna do. Like that mean you signed off for probably a couple of times. You was wrestling with yourself while you walking up there. So you was kind of like walking up there like, man, am I gonna do this? Am I, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like trying to get it through your head. Or am I gonna do it or am I not? And you know what I'm saying? You had a chance to just go up there and be joking with him. You could have just literally joked with him and be like, man, why you on my wife like that? And y'all could have just joked about that. But it's just like, bro, you just made that decision to just be like, you stamped it, like, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like he stamped it a couple of times, because you have to really like break through barriers through your head to actually like, you know what I'm saying, connect with people. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like just be on that, just and connect with a swing or something, like, especially if, you know what I'm saying, you walking up in a situation and just doing like, you really have to like have that mindset. You thinking like, okay, am I really gonna do this? I'm gonna chill. And he chose to do it. So it's like, I can't really believe him when he say, oh, I'm embarrassed and I didn't mean, you know what I'm saying, it was my anger, blah blah blah. Like, through that walk, bro, my anger would have died out halfway through that walk, and I would have been like, you know what, I'm going back to my seat. I would have made a joke out of it, cause like, bro, like, anger don't last that long, bro. It's really an instant thing. You have to be close to the person to just be like, ah. But he was just like, all right, I'm going up here now, like, like, bro, it was a couple of seconds before he really got to Chris Rock and like smacked, bro.
But the way he like walked up to him and walked back, it was so smooth. Like when he walked, he didn't look angry. He didn't run. He didn't jump. He just smooth walked up there and smooth walked back. Buttoned his little vest up, his little suit tux, whatever he had on, just walked back.
He unbuttoned it for the smack. Then he buttoned it back and go sit back down.
Like, though, you know how like we watch on movies, like I guess someone in England or something, like some English dude is getting into it and like he pulls out like a handkerchief or like a glove and like smack him in the face. Like that's what it was giving. Like it was giving like it was not giving like, it was giving elegance. It was giving be gone. Like that's what it was giving, bro.
It was giving pitch posh.
Right. It was giving pitch posh. It was giving be gone business. Like
that's what I was saying, bro. Bro, really like I was saying, bro. I know it sounds funny, but like real talk, bro. If that was me in this situation, bro, even though he was in the front, it's still a long way you had to get to the like to where Chris Rock was. Even because Chris Rock wasn't on the walkway. Chris Rock was on the back part of the stage. He wasn't on the walkway length. I just know during that walk, halfway I got up them steps and to that halfway mark, I'm like, you know what, he can have it. I'm done. Like, I would have went up here and made a joke. Like, well, I would have just been like, nah, I ain't finna do this. Cause you like I can't just see that because, bruh, like I say, anger is an instant thing. Like it's really just because, like, even when people do like egregious things and they said it was just in the moment, like I understand it was a moment, but if you in separate places, you have time to think about what you're doing. And you have like an instant to just be like, all right, it's a little snap of doubt, like right there, like, all right, should I really do this? That should be your moment where you should like angel and devil, but you should kick that devil off your shoulder and be like, angel, hey, what's up? Cause like, bruh, he just listened to that devil that day. And it's his fault, bro. It's his fault, bro. I ain't gonna cap. But he unbuttoned, but smack, buttoned back up and went said like everything was cool, bro. That was crazy.
But Jada Pinkett Smith. I feel bad for Will. Not because of what he did, but the fact that he married to Jada, bro. Like,
That's
that
sad.
man.
That's sad we have to say that. That's so sad.
We can make a whole episode just talking about them two.
Real talk.
It's ridiculous. But yeah, sad. You got anything else to say about this Netflix special that he did?
Bro, that's it, man. Hey, man, shout out to Chris finally coming out, doing this thing, you know, making his moves, man. Like, that was a great chess move. Checkmate. He really checkmate, bro. Checkmate. Yeah.
All right, J.A.B Nation. Thanks for rocking with us. We out.
Hey,
cue the music.
It's Search Key.